Well, welcome back. Motorists will be paying an extra 39 cents a litre for petrol from April due to an increase in the fuel and road accident fund levies. This was revealed in the budget speech yesterday. Let's find out how exactly this will impact motorists. In our Pretoria studio, standing by is the spokesperson for the Automobile Association of South Africa, Leighton Beard. Leighton, as always, thank you so much for joining us. Let's get straight to it. There was a lot of information to digest out of the Finance Minister's speech yesterday. This increase in the fuel levy seemed to almost slip through the cracks, but by your calculations, this is going to have a major impact on motorists and indeed the economy.
Yeah, good afternoon, Marcel. Look, it's definitely going to have a huge impact. It's the second year in a row that we are seeing an increase to the fuel levy. We saw the increase last year of 30 cents from R2.55 to R2.85, and we're seeing another 30-cent increase in the general fuel levy this year from R2.85 to R3.15. What we're also seeing is an increase of 9 cents from R1.54 to R1.63 in the road accident fund levy, and both of these are going to combine to give us an increase, or a combined total of around R4.78 that gets added to the fuel price that motorists pay. And it's an indirect tax, and it's a tax that we feel comes at a time when people are questioning government spending, and it's going to make a huge impact on people's budgets.
So where do we change things? Does the AA believe there is an alternative to the way fuel levies are currently being managed and used?
Look, I think there are different ways in which these things can be calculated. I think one of the things that we called for in our press release today is for a review of the fuel levies, and for some, we need to have a relook at how these things are collected and what the money is being spent on. I think what we need to look at is the money that is collected from the fuel levy spent wisely. It's very important that the public understands that the money collected from the fuel levy doesn't get spent necessarily on road infrastructure or transport infrastructure. This money can be spent on anything the government deems fit. It gets put into the pool of money the government collects, and it can be spent on anything. But at the same time, we are, as consumers, we are asked to pay for things like state-owned enterprise bailouts, and we are asked to spend extra money on things like e-tolls, where the AA believes some of the money generated through the fuel levy could be used, or could be ring-fenced to pay for things like the e-tolls. So we would like a review of these levies. We'd like to see exactly where the money is going and what the money is being used for, and I think that there is space for us to do that.
Now, what kind of relationship does the AA have with government authorities? Is there a space where you speak like this on behalf of motorists and the motoring industry as a whole?
Look, certainly we do have from time to time interaction with the government, and we do give our point of view. We obviously also from time to time comment on white papers and green papers that the government releases. We do give our input, obviously coming from the side of the motorist, where we want to make sure that the motorist's interests are protected throughout and at all times. So we do have interaction with the government. Obviously we're an NPO, and we do give our comment. Whether the government listens to us is up to them, but we obviously do give our comment. I think what we wanted to achieve with today's call for a review of the fuel levies is to inform the public that this is a huge chunk of money that is coming out of the petrol price that is being used as an indirect tax. 35% of a litre of petrol that people pay gets put into government coffers via this tax. And we also wanted to make sure that government understands that this is a tax that is going to be very burdensome on the consumer. We feel that motorists are sometimes viewed as an easy target for tax collection because everybody needs to put petrol in their vehicles. But the knock-on effect of this is going to be enormous. All inflationary price goods are going to increase, bus and taxi fares will increase, and people will have to relook at how they use their own vehicles. Unfortunately, this also comes in the context of very poor and unreliable public transport. So we are very concerned about this, and as an organization that bats for the motorists, we feel that this issue needed to be raised.
And I'm sure South Africans are glad that you're raising them at this time, and hopefully government will be listening. That was Leighton Beard. Thank you for joining us, spokesperson of the Automobile Association of South Africa, joining us live from our studios in Pretoria.